Hi, cuties. I'm Lanikia, and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is the Days of Our Lives edition. Let me just turn up this volume. This is a Days of Our Lives edition. Today is Tuesday, June the 14th, 2022. So let's just jump right into it. Honestly, I don't know how to rate this soap today because it was just a sad day. We see that Steve and Kayla, they're still comforting each other, and Jack and Jennifer come up and, they comfort them. And Jennifer says, they want to see Abigail. And she takes them back, and Jennifer just breaks down. She does that a few times throughout this soap. She's just so emotional and just hurt. Like, it's one thing to lose your child, but in the manner that they lost Abigail, it's just such tragedy. And so, it's a sad situation. So they both have time to be alone with Abigail, and they just both tell her, we love love you, and we you're a strong woman, and we can't believe this has happened, and how are we supposed to go on without you? And Jack was just like, I know you told me not to have any regrets and don't feel bad and apologize and guilty. And he said, but I do. Like, so much time was wasted. And he says, this is a really dark place for him, and he just does not know how he's going to come out of it. And so Jennifer, she tries to comfort him, but they just keep I'm sorry about that. They just keep breaking down because it's just sad. It's sad that she's gone. And so then we see that they actually go and they talk to, okay, so Lucas has woken up and he's been on a bender. Now we do see Lucas has a cut on his hand. He does not remember how he got this cut. He just knows that he was drinking the night before, and he remembers it was because of everything that Kate had told him with Abigail. So he goes to Romans and he tells Roman, I need to speak to my mom. I know she's upset about, me missing dinner. And he said, your mom's over at Chad's. And he was like, oh, yeah, why? When she coming back? What's she doing? And he says, you don't know. And he was like, Roman was like, Lucas was like, what? And Roman says, I hate to be the one to tell you this. And then he tells them about Abigail, and Lucas just breaks down too because, he cared for Abigail. That was his niece, and it was just sad. And so then, you know, Roman asks him, how did you get the cut on his hand? And he says, I don't remember, it's not important. But he honestly does not remember. And he's like, what have I done? Because the last thing he remembers is when he went and got the bottle because Kate told him that Abigail knew about him kidnapping Sammy. And so Jennifer and Jack come in, and Roman, is giving his condolences. And then Jennifer grabs up Lucas, and she was like, I'm so happy to see you. And it's just sad. They're just all breaking down crying, and Lucas is crying because he's just hoping that he had nothing to do with this because he does not remember what going on his bender. He doesn't remember what he's done. So then we see, who else do we see on this episode? We see Gwen and Leo. So they are just talking, and Leo tells Gwen about Abigail's death, and he says, you don't seem that surprised. And she said, well, I mean, that tore up about it. And she says for her dad, she is, but, and he was, Leo did say, like, he was like, Gwen, she died exactly how you wanted her to die, with a sharp pointed object and everything. And so they're pointing fingers at each other. Leo is like, you told me to kill her and I didn't do it. So now did you do it? And she was like, I'm in maximum security. How could I possibly do it? And then so we think about that, she thinks back to how they could not find her the night before. They couldn't find her, and where was she? And she tells Roy, oh, where could I possibly be? And it's the smugness of what she did, how she told Roy that. And then Leo, she says, well, you were in that tunnel. Did you go to her room and all that kind of stuff, and you killed her? And he was like, no, I didn't even go up there to her room or whatever. But we know that's a lie because he thinks back to being in the room and seeing Abigail sitting there and everything. So they're accusing each other, and then both are saying, well, no, because Leo is just like, listen, I wanted revenge, I didn't want death. And she said, well, you did jokingly say you would slit her throat. He was like, and it's exactly that, it was a joke. He was like, this isn't my MO. And so they're both accusing each other. They both don't trust each other at this point. They think the other one did it. And then they finally come to the realization that, well, maybe neither one of us did it. So then that means somebody else did this for us. Got the revenge that we wanted. And, eh, sorry. And so, they both stand up at the same time. And Leo was like, sorry to be the bearer of bad news. And so he leaves. And so when he leaves, we see Gwen has another visitor, and it's Jack. So then from there we actually see Leo. Um, okay. Before that, we see that Rafe Chad is at home. He's made it home, and he sees Abigail there, and she's talking to him about, come in, give me, and you look like you lost your best friend. Give me a hug. And he's like, I can't. You're gone. So it's his mind playing tricks on him. And then there's a knock at the door, and she's like, better get that. They're not gonna go away. And it's Rafe. And he tells, Rafe says, is there anything I can do? He was like, yeah, you could tell me who did this to my wife. You can catch whoever did this. And so Rafe is just like, we have every available man on this case, and we're going to find this. And then he tells Leo, do you mind going, Leo, he tells Chad, will you go upstairs with me so that it will help look at the crime scene. It would help if you go up there. He says, I came over here personally to make sure that we didn't miss anything and all that. And it would help to catch whoever was doing this if Chad goes upstairs. And Chad's like, if it's going to help, then yes, I'll do it. And Chad is still in the same bloody clothes and everything. So he goes upstairs, and, Rafe tells him they've had a team, and that's why he couldn't come in the house last night, because they had a team there all night long trying to get all the forensics together. And so they go in and they're looking around, and Rafe says, this box, what, it looks ajar, whatever. And he was like, yeah, that's where Abigail kept extra money, like loose money, um petty cash and stuff like that, and her jewelry. But it's completely empty. All the money is gone, the jewelry's gone, everything is gone. And he says, do you think it was a robbery? And he said, I think somebody made it look like, he says, it could be, or it could be that someone made it look like that. They said, because her laptop and everything is still there. And so Chad just tells Ray, find who did this. Like, find who did this to my wife. And he says, I won't rest until I find it. So then Ray leaves, and Abigail is back in Chad's mind, and she's on the bed, and she tells him, come to bed, let's make a baby. And he said, I want to do that so much, but you're gone. Like, you're gone, and this isn't real. And so it's all in his mind, and he's just wanting her there. But he's not so far gone that he believes she's there. He knows it's his mind playing tricks on him, just like reliving their last times and everything together. And so then we see he gets a knock on the door, and it's Kate. And she says, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And she reaches in to hug him, and he pushes her away because he's like, girl, I know you did. You had something to do with this. And she says, what's going on? And he was like, he was just going in on her. He was like, it's funny how my wife ends up dead after I tell you that she knew about Lucas kidnapping Sammy. And Kate is looking around, and he was like, oh, I said that too loud. And, he starts saying EJ is at Marlena's with the kids. Tony and Anna, they're gone. I don't know where Sonny is. Wait, I'm getting confused. Sonny wouldn't be there. I'm sorry. I be getting these confused sometimes. But he was like, Tony and Anna is gone. And he was like, so, and my wife is dead. So there's nobody here or whatever. And she was like, Chad, I can't believe you would think that I would do this. And he says, wouldn't you? And she was like, no, I didn't have anything to do with this, nor Lucas. And, because he was going in on, he was like, look at me when I'm talking to you. Like, my wife is dead and you were so worried about your son, and you were so worried about me telling her you wanted assurance and all that. Is her death assurance enough? And she was like, Chad, I would never do this. And she tells him, nor Lucas. And he was like, what are you bringing? And she's bringing Lucas in this for. And she says, that's what this is about. And he said, what does Lucas have to do with anything? He didn't even know that Abigail knew, right? And so now she's gonna have to, let him know that she done told Lucas and everything. And so that's somebody else. And that we already know from just the spoilers and everything that Chad is supposed to really go off. He was in this happy relationship and it ended so cruelly. So he's supposed to go on the deep end, go off the deep end, with all of this. So then we see Leo, right? So remember Rafe said, it looks like it could be a robbery because Abigail's jewelry is missing, and Chad is like, I'll send you pictures and everything of it. So then we see Leo and he has the jewelry. He goes and he gets the bag out where he's hidden it, and there's jewelry and cash in there that he's taken. Now I still don't think Leo did this, or I'm telling y'all, I think Sarah did it, but I don't know. I still don't think Leo did this or even Lucas had anything to do with this. I think it was Sarah, but we'll see. So then we see that after Chad goes in on Kate. That's pretty much the end of the whole episode, and that was Days of Our Lives. He's telling Kate he doesn't believe that she just didn't have anything to do with this, but she reassures him that she doesn't. And that's pretty much it, y'all. I don't even know how to rate it because it was just a sad episode. It was, with Jennifer breaking down several times in it, Jack breaking down, Chad having a tough time. I mean, because it's all still fresh. And then, all these suspects, but and they don't remember anything, and we don't know what we don't know what Leo or Gwen did. They're not telling us that. We know that Lucas doesn't remember, but Gwen and Leo are saying that they didn't do it, but they're not being truthful with each other on what they did know or what they did see, or what's going on, or anything. So that was Days of Our Lives, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you tomorrow for a new episode. Bye.